The Rise and Shine podcast series is made possible by the generous support of Bonnie Vozar of Chicago, Illinois.
Just look away. Just as we want the pictures of us to be flattering and we'll click away and erase the ones that aren't, just as we prefer not to be called out or captured at our worst, this is a grace we must give to our children.
This is Rise and Shine, a podcast that offers timeless wisdom and uplifting meditations to fill your heart, feed your soul, and start your day on a positive note. Here is Adrienne Gold Davis.
Many, many years ago, I read a book. It stayed with me. It's tattooed in my brain to this day. And it helped me to make the transition into being a parent of adults. And it's by Rabbi Manis Friedman. It's called Doesn't Anyone Blush Anymore? Essentially, it speaks to the principle of boundaries and privacy in relationships. That's something Jessica Berkowitz and I discussed at length a few podcasts back. If you didn't listen to it yet, it'll help you unpack that principle about parenting smaller children. But today, I want to speak about adult children. You see, in my mind, that is college age and beyond, when they're no longer in your house, even if you're paying tuition or helping them with their rent. And it's so important to me. Its principles have utterly transformed my relationships with my adult kids. It's about creating friendships with your adult children that are steeped in mutual respect. Behaviors that will keep them in your life and grow the breadth and the depth of your relationship. Now, we all know that we raise them ideally to be independent. It's part of being the shamash on the Chanukiah, the menorah for Hanukkah. That's the concept of a mother as the candle who loses none of her own light as she lights up the candles who represent her kids. But the physical placement of the shamash on the kosher menorah, Chanukiah, puts the shamash in a separate and slightly elevated position. You light their candles, and then you step back, little elevated, but not part of the eight. Only reappearing should they go out and need to be relit. You see, to be in a friendship with adult children can be so rewarding, but it requires the highest of boundaries and the willingness to be a consultant. That means you come when you're asked for and when you're needed, not to hover and micromanage, because that just singes their wicks. You know, as a matter of fact, I am thrilled to tell you that an article that I wrote about this very subject is the opening essay in Momentum's newest publication, The Art and Practice of Living Wondrously. It's launching this August, but you can pre-order it on Amazon. The book itself, it contains brilliance and wisdom from some of the world's greatest thinkers and minds, philosophers, pundits. So, and little old me too. It's filled with the kind of concepts and directives and wisdom that we all need at this moment in time, that we will always need because we want to live a wondrous life. Now, essentially, my essay deals with a 3-word sentence that has served me better than any of my carefully planned speeches or my over-functioning strategic brain. It's liberated me from the ridiculousness of playing God, of believing that my will, my timing, my determination, my preferences will have any bearing on the decisions my adult children care to make, as if anything improves with conversation over the age of 16. By then, my friends, they know exactly what we stand for, what we hope for them, where our red lines are. They know. Anything more becomes nagging. So this essay reminds us of the imperative of saving the dignity of those we love, not tearing off their masks and naming and exposing what we know about them. Things like, I gave birth to you, young lady. I wiped your bottom. I am your mother. And what are those 3 words? Here they are. Get ready. Just look away. Just look away? Now, a lot of people have said to me they think that looking away is avoiding reality, that it's enabling or giving some kind of approval by your silence. But in fact, catching someone doing something wrong will often humiliate them, and that ends up lowering their self-concept. You know, I used to be part of 12-step programs, and I remember learning that you should never scream and shout and shame a partner if they are, for example, drunk, because that the mind of an addict will take that humiliation as an excuse to drink away the pain, and then they'll blame you for it. In Asia, there's this famous concept called face. It's either giving face or, as we say it, saving face. And it's a concept that refers to showing respect and deference to someone, often to preserve their dignity and reputation in social situations. It's about maintaining or enhancing a person's standing and honor within their social groups. Well, I can't imagine where those principles are more important than in our personal relationships within family, and particularly with our adult children. The Torah says to us, who is honored? They who honor others, as it is said, for those who honor me, meaning being God, I will honor, and those who shall scorn me being God, shall be degraded. So there's a brilliant commentator that's called the Tiferet Israel, and this is how he explained it. He said, when one honors their fellow man because they're created in God's image, one is in essence honoring God. Therefore, God will bestow honor upon this individual, as his own godliness will shine, causing others to honor him. Rabbi Binyamin Zimmerman wrote that this is the principle of Kavod HaBriot, one of the values on the momentum experience, the dignity with which we must treat all human beings. Although certain individuals, such as one's parents or teachers, for example, are to be accorded extra honor, every individual still deserves tremendous respect. This is based on the concept of Tselem Elohim, the image of God, in which every human is created, entitling everyone to near godly treatment. For some reason, our sometimes thwarted expectations of honor from our children, or our excessive worry or desire to micromanage or snowplow or helicopter, might lead us to look where we're not invited, to stare at what they prefer to keep hidden. As in, well, if I don't have control anymore, at least I can have the whole picture, all the information, so I can really know what to worry about. But just as we want the pictures of us to be flattering and we'll click away and erase the ones that aren't, just as we prefer not to be called out or captured at our worst, this is a grace we must give to our children. Looking away is not the same as biting your tongue, says Rabbi Manis Friedman. Biting your tongue, he wrote, only leaves you with a mouth filled with blood. Just look away, he says, at that which they don't want you to see. Give them the dignity they desire and the independence from being infantilized that they crave. And then you will find yourself closer to them than you believed possible. This week, take some time to ask yourself if you're peeking where you shouldn't be, or pointing out what you've noticed. Ask yourself, why do you feel the need to do so? Remind yourself that blessing and friendship comes often not from less boundaries, but in fact from more. May we all both give face and save face, not just to ourselves, but also to our children. And we should go out and pre-order on Amazon The Art and Practice of Living Wondrously. Do it, because between this essay and the real minds that fill that book, you will have an additional guidebook for living with joy and wonder.
Thanks for listening to Rise and Shine. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to Momentum Podcasts on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Join Adrienne again next time for more timeless wisdom and uplifting meditations that fill your heart, feed your soul, and start your day on a positive note.
This podcast was made possible by the generous support of Bonnie Vozar of Chicago, Illinois. Spread the wisdom. Inspire Jewish individuals around the globe by supporting Momentum's podcasts. To sponsor, contact podcast@momentumunlimited.org. You're listening to a Momentum podcast. For unlimited inspiration, wisdom, and empowerment, visit momentumunlimited.org.